Hi, I'm David Katzner, and I'd like to thank you in advance for the time you're going to spend. I will promise to keep it short so that I can explain to you what the Enough Initiative is all about. I'm sure someone has told you about this or sent you a link or an email or a text and say, please click on this and watch this guy. So thank you in advance for the opportunity to speak to you today. I want to explain what the Enough Initiative is about. Most importantly, before anything else, this is not your classic political donation fundraising plea. The Enough Initiative has nothing to do with a midterm election, with a candidate, with a party, with any of the traditional things that you have been asked to donate to before. The reason is, I don't think, and I don't think you think, that we have the luxury of waiting until January 2027 until a new Congress is seated. One, it assumes that we're going to have an election, not necessarily in the bag. And two, it's too far away. Every single day is a nightmare in this country right now. Think about the last several months. Can you think of a single day when you didn't do this, looking at the headlines, when you didn't roll your eyes, clench your teeth, and pull your hair out over the insanity that is happening in this country? Has there been a day with good news? Has there been a day where you're like, oh, that finally? No, it's not happening. And that's because Donald Trump and all of his minions, are spread now throughout the entire government, are in control of everything. There are no guardrails. The House of Representatives, the Senate, the Supreme Court, they bend to his will. And he's taking full advantage of it. To what end? I'm not exactly sure. I suppose it's authoritarian. I don't think he has the brain power to think that far in advance. He just needs to have his ego stroked every day, and whatever it takes, he'll do that. This is unacceptable. So how do we make a change? How do we affect change now? Today, this week, this vote, this next term this next session in the House of Representatives. We go after the vulnerable Republicans in the House of Representatives. I want you to think about, again, we're talking about the guardrails, and they seem just insurmountable. But the fact is, Mike Johnson lords over the House of Representatives as if he has a missive from above. But the fact is, he is sitting on a small 5-seat majority. And that majority is fraying. We've seen it start to fray. We've seen the votes start to flip. What the Enough Initiative is all about is making sure that more of them flip, and more of them begin to flip now. How do we do that? We attack the representative directly in their home district. We go into their districts themselves. We speak specifically, directly to their constituents. We name their representative, and we point out all the things that they have either supported through their votes, or what they've done in committees, or what they've done by remaining silent to any crazy that has come out of Donald Trump's mouth or any of the members of his administration. If they stay silent, they are complicit. Now, okay, so how do we do that? What is the message? We've all seen our social media blow up, and we all talk within our own bubbles. But that's not how we're going to go about this. We need to talk to a more general public directly in their districts. And we're going to do that with digital billboards. Now, you may not be that familiar with digital billboards. I was not familiar with them at all. I've been in the politics game a long time. I've been messaging, I've been advertising, I've been creating videos. I have never worked in the billboard space, but I have gotten a lesson, and it is a powerful medium. The fact is that we can deliver messages specifically to the constituents, specifically about their House of Representative, that they will see every single day on their drive to work and on their drive home, on their drive to school and back, on the weekends when they're going shopping, as they're pulling into the Walmart. There will be a digital billboard attacking their representative, not necessarily Donald Trump, but what their representative is doing, what their representative promised to do for them and is not delivering. We need to get their base, their constituent base, angry enough so that their already weak poll numbers evidently to them start to truly tank, and that they are really in trouble of losing their seat. That's why we believe if the attack is targeted and on point, they will return to Washington and they will walk into the GOP caucus room and they're going to say, you know what? I'm getting killed on this. I cannot vote for this bill. And that's how we affect change. And that's how we affect change now in 2025. Not during campaigns, not during the run up to all that, not during primaries and the noise that surrounds them. Right now, we own the opportunity to have and the narrative to make sure that these representatives, these Republicans, realize they are on the wrong side of all of these issues. They are going to lose their cushy seat in Washington and they are going to be sent home. So that is the Enough Initiative. It is an initiative that begins now. We cannot wait. We just don't have the luxury. Our country is being torn apart every single day. So with that in mind, I want to thank you again for listening. I would like to encourage you, please, to support our effort. So, these billboards they're very cost effective, but they do cost money. We need to raise this money so that we can launch this initiative immediately. And we have target districts where we know specifically that these representatives are underwater. If an election was held today, they would lose. They know that. We just need to push them. We need to push them over the edge. So with your support, with your contributions, and with your help, and with your spreading of the word to others, that's so important here. If you would, I'd like to thank you so much for being supportive, for understanding what we're trying to do here. And if you have any questions whatsoever, there are numerous ways you can get in touch with me directly, and I'd be happy to explain, answer any questions, anything you might have. Again, thank you so much for your time.